For
Sorry,
what
I'll
one?
say that again because I just started recording. There's lab 4 up on the screen, so if someone can remind me of what the issues were, we can have a wee look at it.
When it came to, was it for part 3, part A?
Aye, question 3.
It was 3 because I done it completely differently to. I could screen share if you like, but that means you need to lose control.
Well, just tell me how you did first of all.
I could put it in the chat. Actually, that's probably a better way of doing it.
Basically, I think, Casey, you did the same as me, and I had asked in the chat because when I first read the question, I thought it had read how many odd numbers they wanted, not the end of the range. But then when I asked in the kind of chat we were having, everybody seemed to think we were just creating a way for the user to put in the end of the range. And so that's what we did, rather than how many numbers they wanted to do, like you spoke about earlier.
Okay, so let's think a wee bit about.
Oh, bloody hell, I did that completely differently.
How did you do it?
I asked them to put in the first odd number and then the last odd number.
Like, see for 3 part A, I told them to just put the last value in and then done. I don't know if you can see the chat, Tony. I've done it like that, and then done a check if the odd number divided by 2 does not equal 0. Print formatting line to 0 for odd number, and then do an odd number total equals. I made it dead overcomplicated, I feel.
I suppose the question really is, how do we work out what we're trying to do here? So let's start with the question. How many odd numbers they want to sum starting from 0? So if you're starting from 0 and you want 5 odd numbers, what's the end of that range?
So from 0, the first 5 numbers.
If you want 5 odd numbers,
it would be.
It's going to be the one above it.
It would be up to 9. That was it would be, the last odd number in that list would be 9. So
well, the thing to know, I suppose, is that odd numbers come every second time. So if we want 5 odd numbers, and they're only every second time, the end of our range can be calculated quite simply as that.
Is that all it was asking for?
There's lots of different ways to do it. I'm just giving you an answer. And that's always the case with programming. There are lots of different ways to do it, which is why be careful when you're chatting to your classmates. Now, I absolutely want you to chat to your classmates. I want you to talk to each other about how you approach things, but don't make the assumption because someone has done it a different way that they're right and you're wrong, or vice versa. There's lots of different ways to do it. But this is a dead simple way to do it. If you want 5 odd numbers and they come every second time, you know that the end of your range is just 5 times 2. So the end of the range is 10. And you can use that in your for loop. Make sense?
No, that does make sense. The way I done it was someone else trying to speak this on.
So then we're on to B. How many odd numbers they want to sum starting from a number of their choice. So the starting number is easy. Let's say it's 14. How are we going to work out the end?
It would just be a user input, wouldn't it? No.
Well, no. The only user input is, there's 2 user inputs starting from a number of their choice. So that's this. And how many odd numbers they want to sum. So let's assume it's 5 again. How are we going to get the end of the range now?
You having fun with your new pen now?
No, I'm having to do it with a mouse, and it's really annoying.
You should maybe get yourself one of those little, not a Wacom one, but a little digital tablet.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I've got a Surface, so normally when I'm writing on the PowerPoints, I can just do that using my Surface tablet with a pen.
Oh, the Surface Pen's fantastic.
But I can't do that with this. I could bring up, like a blank presentation and do it like that, but I can't do it on this. Anyway, point is, starting number. Finishing number. And we can just check that. We want 5 odd numbers starting from 14. So we've got 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. So we'll get 5 odd numbers starting at 14. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Anybody any questions about that? Or want to ask about any other bits of the lab? Or that question for now? No, all happy? Okay. Any other questions for any of the other questions in the lab?
So we have done it okay though for the part B, because see what I asked them to do is ask the user which number they want to start and then the highest odd number they wish to go to. So say you start at 10 and you do 24, and it would do all the numbers between 10 and 24. I mean, I'm pointing towards it, but you can't see it.
Well, the thing that is, though, what you've asked for is the maximum number. What the question is asking you to do is asking them to count, is asking them how many odd numbers they want. You've solved a different question.
Yeah, this was my point last night, because that's how we were all getting a bit confused, I think.
So yours works, Casey. What was asked for?
See, I've done the same as well, but it wasn't what it was asked.
Do you want us to resubmit that? Or...
No, that's fine. That's what I said at the start. I actually much prefer this, that you looked at something, came up with an answer, and the answer is right for all of you. It's not what was asked, so you go back and think, well, actually, what was it that was asked, and is there something we can do? So no, I don't need it resubmitted. That's not the point. But I absolutely want you to go back to your code and see if you can get it working now. Okay. Any other questions from the lab then?
But I'm still not sure how you'd ask for. Would you just ask for a number?
How many odd numbers do you want? Answer 5.
And then beyond that,
input, please enter how many odd numbers you want. That's it.
And then beyond that, I'm a bit.
And then you need to work out what your range is. And you do that by calculating where the end of the range would be. If you want 5 odd numbers, and odd numbers come every second number, the end of your range is 5 times 2. So starting at 2, you'd get, well, 0 isn't, so you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is the end of your range that you've calculated. So you've got 5 odd numbers.
Yeah, somewhat, yeah. But we don't need to resubmit that. That's cool.
No, but I do want you to get it to work. Don't think you can just ignore it. Go back to your code and get it to work for me.
but don't resubmit it.
But don't resubmit it. Unless you want me to look at it.
I can get it to work, but...
No, but see, when you say, oh yeah, I can get it to work, it's trivial. That's the bit where the code turns around and goes, and bites you.
Yeah.
Make sure you can get it to work for these. There's a reason we do these things. Don't forget we're heading towards courseworks at the end of this year and at the end of the academic year. And there's a reason we get you to do these things, and there's a reason we get you to do these specific things. We want you to be able to do these kinds of things because they will come in useful. So don't just go, oh yeah, I understand, actually do it, okay? Okay.
Right, I just got everything that you said there about, obviously, how many numbers they wanted, every odd number's the second one. I'm following your arrows on the screen here, and I'm a bit, what's the 14 plus 10, was that?
So that was for question B.
All right, okay.
So how many odd numbers they want to sum. So we've still got the first bit, 5. We want 5 odd numbers, but starting from a number of their choice, and my choice was 14. So we're starting at 14. We still want 5 of them. So we do the same calculation, but add it on to our start to get our end. So our range will be 14 to 24.
Yep, get it now, thanks.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to implement that in code language though.
You've got a for I in range something to something.
So I've got
and your something to something is 14 to 24. You've worked out what the range should be. And that's the important bit. The coding actually should be fairly trivial, but working out what you have to do, that's the tough bit. And look at what Enrique's saying. I agree with every word of that. You need to actually do the code. You need to actually get in there, make it work. I think I said to you right on day one, I can read a book about making a cabinet and how to use a saw and the hammer and the screwdriver and all the rest of the things. And I can understand how it works in theory. But I'm guessing my cabinet won't be as good as somebody that's been practicing actually doing it for a while. It's the same with coding. Okay, any other questions for the lab?
So in question 4, sorry, Tony.
No, that's what we're here for.
What about I mean, I got it to work, but I see that you've specifically said at the end of there, the user should enter initial caps guilty or initial caps not guilty.
Okay.
And I didn't put anything in for the eventuality that they didn't enter either of those things, and I was curious how to do that.
I think it's an is it an or statement you put in?
Well, I knew how to strip the string if I wanted to, or I capitalise it if I wanted to, but if they didn't put either of those things in, like for instance, mine still worked when I spelt guilty wrong.
There's ways you can eliminate if you get guilty wrongly typed. I was trying to do that and it just overcomplicated it. If you use U case.
I think if you went back to what we've done today and put a while statement in as well, would help with that one, I think. Because it just goes right through every one of the mines, it just went right through every one of the list. You didn't even need to put anything in.
Yeah, but I thought the whole idea was to try and do it without something we didn't know about beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
While would help a big time with this in this regard.
You're right. From what we're doing today, I'm leaving aside all the capitalizations and all that kind of stuff. Quite right. The while makes it a lot easier You could do something like that.
You put a space between guilty and not guilty.
Yeah. You get the point.
So I just slightly.
I've always put of instead of or. I mean, I'm going fast here.
Yeah, I think that's where I was confusing myself, because I knew there had to be a smart way to put that first line that I wasn't thinking of. It was kind of going long haul.
And that's exactly the thing. You're thinking ahead. We haven't covered the stuff. So it's fantastic that you're thinking about that. In terms of what it's saying, it's just saying the user should enter guilty or not guilty. There's nothing in there that says check what happens if they've entered fish, or check what happens if they've entered guilty all in lowercase or all in uppercase. But that's exactly what you need to be thinking.
Aye.
So that's great that you're thinking about that. And you might not have had the tools at hand to implement that.
No, I was trying to stick with the tools that we had rather than Google it.
I've tried to implement UCase again, but it just made it confusing. Like, see, when you're inputting UCase, see, for instance, if it was verdict equals verdict UCase, for instance. See the line below, would you do verdict or verdict UCase? That was throwing me off big time.
Mine didn't care.
So for you, for last week, for the tools that you had, you pretty much only had that. Check if it's guilty, otherwise he's not guilty. But you're absolutely right, Jen.
To start with.
There's a whole pile of things that they could have put in otherwise, but you didn't really have the tools to sort them, which is why we're building on the tools. And now you can have this kind of while thing. And someone mentioned, I can't even remember if it was you or not, the upper or lower to check in terms of the input and making sure that you can disregard any changes in case. And all that kind of stuff is absolutely what you should be doing. And we are getting there.
See, in regards to upper and lower case, it was me that said it. Would you need to put it in the for loop, or can it be out with the for loop? Because it said it when I was trying to do it for uppercase, if guilty, it was not liking it at all.
But it's is that not a string anyway? So it's comparing the string, whatever you put there. So the input is the one that you have to make sure is stripped and matches that.
Yep. So it's something like that. I'm sure I've got the method wrong. I need to go and look it up. I always have to go and look it up. But it's something like that. You can get the input, use the upper method to make it all uppercase, and then check against the all uppercase guilty.
You've just missed one line. It would be verdict equals verdict.upper. That's the only line you're missing there, then it should work.
Well, I'm glad you're correcting me.
I'm still puzzled on how to fix that 3A though.
Right to fix?
3A for Mod 4. But yeah.
Okay, well, we can go back to 3A. Any other questions for question 4, first of all?
It's probably staying me right now.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. And Jen, again, that's really good that that's where you were going to, because that's exactly where you'll need to be. And you'll get more and more tools to deal with it. For 3A, what's the issue, Casey?
I'm just completely puzzled how to do this. Like how to input the value. Can I screen share? Thank you.
Yeah, should be able to do that.
There we go. Because that's what I have. And see when I run it, that's how I got it to work.
I can't read a thing because what you've got is grey on dark grey, and I just cannot read that on my screen at all.
I'll change it to white for you. I can do that.
You also need to make it a bit bigger.
I can also do that too. Where's the settings for PyCharm?
See, that's exactly why I don't put this stuff in PyCharm.
So, yeah.
There we go. No, wrong one. There we go. Does that help?
Yeah, make it a wee bit bigger now.
How the heck do you make it bigger?
Right, so you're back to your original one. So you've got max num. You're answering a different question.
Yeah, I don't know how to change it though. That's how. I'm hitting a brick wall. I sat for about 6 hours trying to fix this.
Okay, so I don't know how else to express it. The maximum number is the number of odd numbers that you want.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's 6 odd numbers, odd numbers only come every second number, so you'd need to check 12 of them. So it's 6 times 2. If they wanted 11 odd numbers, it would be 11 times 2. Mm-hmm. If they wanted 20 odd numbers, it would be 20 times 2. And that then gives you your max number. You're not asking the user for it. You're calculating it because that's your job.
Ask the question, then do the calculation, but just do it bit by bit till you get it to work.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So that would be like, please enter how many odd numbers you want, 5, and then I take it this bit here I would not need at all. Then if odd number divided by 2 does not equal 0, print the formatting.
Well, no, I think what you need there is to change how you're working in the range and only go every second one, which I think also answers your scenes question. You do need a for. You need the for to actually print out the odd numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember, did you have to get the total as well?
So
yes, you will need a for, but that's after you work out the range of the for and what you're doing in them. Does that make sense to you as well, Yassine? And I'm probably mispronouncing that, so I apologise.
I'm still puzzled.
Okay, Casey, what I need you to do then is what I said to you before. I need you to step away from the computer.
Oh, here we go. Here we go again.
It's still true. I need you to step away from the computer, and I need you to write down some stuff on paper and actually work it through. If you need, go back and look at the recording of this video so that you can hear what I'm saying again, but do it on paper. There's no way around it.
Mm-hmm. I just need to try to figure it out then.
Any other questions for the labs?
Oh, I think I've just figured it out in my head because it just times it by 2, the user input. So it'd be 2. Say if they put in 5, it'd be 5
times every second number, yes.
As long as it's starting, it doesn't matter as long as it's starting at an odd number.
Well, you need to sit down with your bit of paper and see if it still works with an odd number.
No, I meant, yeah, that would work.
Well, thank you.
It's not like you've been saying that.
No, absolutely not. It's not like I've said that half a dozen times. Right, Casey, I'll let you work on that on your own. Can I just check, is John McKenzie here?
It's popped up in the chat.
John, if you're here, I did send you an email, so if you can act on that, please. It's all set up for you. I'm stuttering here for some reason. Okay, if there's no more questions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute myself. I shall let you guys get on with it. So it's the usual thing. If you have a question, give us a shout. You know where we are. and don't be shy about asking. Okay, if there's no other questions. All right. In that case, I am going to be quiet for a while. Give me a shout or give the other guys a shout if you have questions.